Abort! Okay, yeah, it's on to us. Hi, welcome back. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for waiting patiently. We are going to be continuing on the upper side of the bracket right now as we have last event's champions, Mafty Did Nothing Wrong, versus the previous game's champions, Sotoras Esports. The map picks and bans are getting ready as we speak. But either way, I'm really excited, Chef, to see Mafty versus Sotoras, because versus Deathsiders, Sotoras looked really, really good.
They did, but almost last week now. It's every 2 weeks that we've got these events. Last fortnight, we saw Team Mafty just super dominant. And of course, for anybody who doesn't know, of course, Mafty is our previous champion, but also technically got second place at the previous Gundam Evolution Showdown, the official $20,000 event, to Team Toto 1010 fans, which I'm also a Toto 1010 fan. But two of the players, I believe, actually, from Toto 1010 fans are now on this version of Mafty, and that is going to be something different this time, specifically with Carl Sagan. It is a super team.
It's Carl Sagan.
Oh yeah, everybody loves that Carl Sagan gameplay. You hear it in all the trailers all the time.
Yeah, look, listen. Yeah, Mafty, they are the team to beat in this tournament. And so no matter how good Sotoras might have looked in the previous series that we just saw, this is going to be a completely different challenge. Mafty just won their winners quarterfinal match against Last Second 2-0. We don't have the stats on more than that, just the fact that it was a 2-0, but that shouldn't really surprise anyone. I think, honestly, if Sotoras can pick one map off Mafty in this series, they should be happy. It is a double elimination, so whoever loses is they're not out of the tournament just yet. We are in the winners bracket at the moment, so there's still another life. Picks and bans, and it's an entirely new set.
Yeah, we can actually see who banned what now, which is super cool. We can see that it's Team Mafty. I believe it's maybe the Omni logo technically, but the Team Mafty banning Quarry, and then Sotoras banning. I don't know if this is the exact order, of course, but we are going to see. Yeah, I'm going to actually try to figure out what the exact order is for the one next time. We'll just talk about what the actual maps picked are. We're going to start off with Thermal Plant, and then move on over to Mountain R&D. Oh my gosh, you see, I get the names mixed up constantly as well.
I think that's Underground, and we
Underground,
are going to have Mountain R&D as the third map, which was the third map in line the previous series. It didn't go that far. We'll see if we can get it there this time around.
Yeah, Underground Commencer. Yeah, I was thinking too far ahead. This is looking very, very similar as far as picks in general go. The big difference here is that we, of course, are going to be starting with a domination map. This is a whole lot of information to take in at once. We used to see the bans and picks live, but we're just making sure that the teams are, all ready to go here. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the colony trading posts once again, but we should, at the very minimum, see 2 different maps.
Yeah, well, Thermal Plant up first. I do wonder how impactful a domination map being map number 1 can be, because unlike the other series, which if you get blown out, you're blown out and it's immediately over. And so as unfortunate as that can be, it's easier to reset from a quick loss than it is from a long extended loss. And I feel like domination can extend pretty far even if you're getting dominated.
Yes. This is I don't know. It's going to be a tough spot, though, playing up against Mafty. Now, Mafty is going to be our team on the left. They're going to be blue team, and on the right side, we are going to be seeing Sotoras. So Team Mafty is going to be, of course, not having Casino this time around, but they're going to have Enders on the Dom. There's actually a lot of switches that we're not even going to have time to talk about before this first fight.
Yeah, already there's action happening back and forth. A isn't even unlocked yet, but teams are vying for positioning. The Barbatos pushes forward, is able to get a trade and make it 5 versus 5 for now. The Esports is going to get the teammate to return to the fight sooner, but just trades back and forth, and looks like Sotoras is actually having the advantage in the engagement right now, and they weren't able to take the site at first, tried to retake it, but it's still going to be ticking away for Mafty.
Yeah, just being able to get that first grab is huge, because this has turned into a really extended brawl. Usually it's one team kind of destroying the other, taking it, and then trying to hold the high ground, but this has just been players flooding in one after the other. Arrow and Baranox both getting a down here, and that means that they're probably going to be, oh yeah, especially with that stagger here on Coilovers, that's going to be pretty much the full hold here. We might see Team Sotoras go for the just the next point, right, which is going to be C, all the way on the other side of the map. There's not a really clean route from A to C, but wow, there's just a brawl by their spawn.
Listen, Mafty are just trying to flex an ego push onto every single opportunity that they can see, making sure that Sotoras cannot stay alive for longer than 30 seconds per unit, it feels like. Already at close to 50%, and that was just the first point. That's how quickly they capped it and how strongly they held it. There's damage that's coming out, there's some trades that are coming out, but we have yet to... Okay, we see one G maneuver available for Sotoras on Royal Fat Man.
Yeah, but one of the least impact G maneuvers, of course, since they're super grouped, it can be pretty high impact, but overall, you're probably not going to see that as the largest G maneuver in the entire game. One of the, maybe the downsides of Zakutu Melee, but we'll see if, especially in these close quarters on C, we can get a chunk of a maybe 3 or 4, but right now, we're just going to see few players picked on the side of Sotoras. They're going to get picked back up, but there's really low health overall on their side.
Yeah. That's the problem, and in the meantime, Mafty has taken the point, they've taken C, and those points, that percentage is just ticking higher and higher. The revives might be coming through, but at what cost, really? Like, they're not getting anything out of it. This is still playing in Mafty's win condition.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing them hold pretty far forward, pretty aggressively. Not a super uncommon thing to see on domination maps, but if you see a team that does get the opportunity to do this, you know they're doing very, very well, and that's exactly what we can say from Mafty right now.
Enders with the Dom Trooper, has the Screaming Nimbus at the ready, throwing out some mines. I mean, it's almost 90%, and the second point hasn't even been dropped yet. There's a little bit of a contesting there on the double ground. Keicho's trying to come in with the Barbatos, looking for kills if they can find them, but really just trying to be a nuisance and find an opening for the rest of the pack to swing on in. Just shy of 90%, and we're going to be going over to A point once again. Not unlocked yet. Teams are running kind of shoulder and shoulder with each other.
Yeah, the toughest part here is that we've got 5 G maneuvers available on the side of Mafty. We're going to have 3, potentially 4 on the side of Sotoras if they can even get there in time to use it. This is looking really tough. They are getting nearly team wiped here. This is going to be a quick take, almost guaranteed for Mafty. It's going to be one potential final push if they can even get that far with the team kill. Mafty taking out the entirety of Sotoras. They've got one chance left if they can even get there.
They haven't even used all their G maneuvers on Mafty's side. It was really just the G maneuver from the Unicorn Gundam that they used to capture that point and just throw Sotoras away from that. Extra time is running out, 100%. 1 point on Sotoras. Barely.
Sheesh.
Mafty, like, this is what I'm talking about. Domination, I mean, Mafty are dominating.
Yep. This is, again, it's not to say that Sotoras is playing badly, but Team Mafty is on top of being a team that originated as one of the best teams in the entire region, is now added other strong players onto it. I did see, of course, Carl Sagan on the roster. Carl Sagan not in this actual game, but this is basically the roster minus Casino that we saw in the previous tournament. And I'm reading in chat right now that Casino just wanted to get some of the other players cycled in. That's why we're seeing Enders instead of on the signature, for example, like Pale Rider and Jim Sniper play. We're seeing Enders on that Dom doing extremely well. I mean, I love to see it. I love to see the Zakutu range. They're just playing their usual game.
Yeah, and it's looking really, really good. Their ability to just force their opponents into choke points, into corner positions and eliminate them, even if there are some trades that we saw in the very beginning of the previous map, the previous round, almost like very quickly Mafty look like they just take control of the entire zone, take control of the entire site, and it's incredibly hard for Sotoras to come back in. But maybe with this new round, the reset is going to give them an opportunity to find something else that works.
Yeah, and here we go, starting off the fight for C, and we are actually not going to get the full commitment. We are going to see a huge flame grenade potentially. No, decided not to go for it. Could have actually gotten maybe 2 downs right there, just with that extra damage. It is a huge, huge damage option, but we're going to see at the very minimum Mafty hold on to this as it opens.
Immediate point capture once again. They were able to force Sotoras off of that point. They only needed one individual, it seemed, one unit to actually capture that. And again, they're just keeping them shoved into the corner. This is bullying. This is high school bullying at its highest level.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the team comp either. It's just they're just not able to find their moments. I mean, Baronox going down, that is going to be an opportunity, but they are fighting in B right now. This is so far away from where the actual site is. Arrow is going to go down. That's, again, an opportunity for Sotoras, but Arrow going down in B is weird.
They had to use 2 units to take out a 1 unit who wasn't even on the site itself. That just shows the amount of the resource disparity that we're seeing coming out from Sotoras. The fact that they need to use that much to take care of something that's not even like a full win condition just shows like how much they're just reaching for something to hold on to come into this. The site is going to change. We're going to A, but I'm afraid this is looking like the exact same as the previous round.
Nothing is too different. I would like to see maybe a team comp change, but it might just be one of those games where you gotta adapt and find the moment. Right now, we're just not seeing anything changing. The comps are staying the same, the play is staying the same. Profi and David, extremely strong in each of their own roles, taking down a player each. David, a secret MVP that I feel like not enough people are even talking about from his play in the previous event, just holding that front line, one of the strongest, oh my god, I can't even remember the name. Sazabis.
Yeah, very strong Sazabi play for sure. Also looking at Arrow and the Pale Rider. They're keeping Sotoras back in their spawn. That's how dominating of a gameplay that is right now. It's only 50% here for Mafty in this round, so things could change. The double pack. Corey Overs is trying to go for one of those opportunities himself. He has a Trans Am at the ready. Getting out of that, though, because he doesn't want to get taken out. Needs to heal up first. Roll Fat Man also taken very low. He's going to get dropped by the opposing Pale Rider. The Hades actually activated by Arrow, but here comes Corey. He has a Trans Am at the ready. Let's see if he can't find an opportunity to use it.
Yeah, and only 15 seconds until we switch over to C. I would kind of like to see the entirety of Team Sotoras just kind of move on over just to try to hold at least the spot before it changes. But it doesn't look like enough of them are there. There's still so many random fights happening all over the map. Again, we're seeing the top of B, which is such a strange place. I mean, I understand that maybe they're transitioning over and these brawls are starting to happen, but I feel like the fact that they're just having these small skirmishes across the map is very beneficial for Mafty, who is controlling the points overall.
Well, it's because Mafty's able to win all of these skirmishes, which is why they're continuing to lean into them. They're making sure that Sotoras can't stay grouped up, that they can't really get a full fortified push in. Garmazavi tries to contest for the point, but he gets dropped. That's going to be one trick also forced away. Not dropped just yet, but not looking particularly healthy either. Sotoras were able to take this point, but can they hold on to it for long enough to really start to come back in this round?
It's looking like a no, just from that immediate retake. All right, I mean, hey, they're doing better than they were, right? They managed to get the point. They got to manage to get more points, but they need to find a huge push here. There are going to be 2G maneuvers on the side of Sotoras, but one of the players going down with it. Coil Overs has to use this Trans Am extremely well, and this is going to be a good amount of damage from it, but nobody was on the points, so there was no chance. Somebody had to stand there, and it probably had to be Exio, which is really unfortunate, but it looked like there was going to be a good amount of damage coming out. However, Mafty, I want to say dominating the first game.
Yeah, they definitely dominated the first round, and Sotoras, they looked like they were getting into it towards the end of that second. They were starting to get used to the tempo that that Mafty were playing at, but you really don't have that much time. And besides, I think we can all make this assumption that Mafty, like, skill issue, just looking at the 1v1 fights that they had, sometimes even a 1v2 fight, they were definitely the clear-cut winners out of that matchup.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Mafty is Mafty. If I remember correctly, which I'm always bad at remembering these things, but if I remember correctly, I believe they didn't lose a game the entirety of the previous tournament. And there were some really strong teams as well with Tekka and IQ, both of them really. I mean, basically, the skill difference between Mafty and them was as much as them and some of the other teams. So it just goes to show, like, Mafty is really, really unstoppable. Even getting 10% against them, I think, is a pretty good feat. But especially when you get to those individual skill levels, I feel like maybe it'll be not as much of just these individual skill level brawls when we move on to the next maps.
Yeah, well, speaking of next maps, we do have Underground Command Center coming up next. Can Sotoras bring us to Mountain R&D Lab, which would be map number 3? We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back to find out.
Ground Command Center will be our second map here in the Mafty versus Sotoras Esports set. Mafty up 1-0 after that previous game, and now we'll see if their domination can continue. We are going to see the rotation in from Carl Sagan, which everybody's very excited for. Of course, it's the first time that we're going to be opening up slightly the doors here on the region lock, and Carl Sagan allowed back in, currently on the normal gym, which is, again, a very rare suit to see.
Yeah, listen, we got the gym on play, but it's a new map. It's a new, well, it's not a new day, but it's a new map, okay? So Sotoras, they need to try and answer back, and if there's one thing that they can lean on, it's that this map style is a lot different from domination. There is more time for you to slow things down, whether you're on the, especially if you're on the attack, right? Whereas on domination, if you're in the lead, you're going to keep pushing that lead until the round is over.
Right, and especially this map has some very wide open areas. Of course, we're starting with the wide open areas. We see Royal Fat Man on the gym sniper. On the defense, we'll see if that pays off. We've seen it work very, very well before, but also backfire before with these super heavy pushes. Focus immediately checking out what's going on.
Okay, Carl Sagan there did swap from the gym to the gym sniper. Gets the revive, tries to land a shot. Looks like it did connect, didn't get the kill just yet, but still, this long range damage is going to be trying to find the opening for that initial waypoint.
Yeah, the gym sniper is such a classic pick for Carl Sagan. I love to see it.
Royal Fatman trying to answer back with sniper play of his own, but it is going to be Arrow and Enders with the initial knocks, the initial fight openings to get this waypoint. And anyone else who is surviving, well, anyone else, it's specifically one chick, not even anymore, because this is pure domination from Mafty. Sotoras can't even doesn't have any survivors to try and back away, so it's going to be an immediate mega charge set on A. No one from Sotoras has even respawned yet, and already you see Carl Sagan looking for an aggressive angle.
Yeah, this is a spot where you tend to want to already be changed off of Jim Sniper, but if you don't die, you're at the very minimum going to get 1 life on Jim Sniper. And if you're Carl Sagan, you might just hold on to it the entire time. It is very hard, again, to retake this. Like most sites, once the Mega Charge has been planted, but a nice push is going to build some space.
Ooh. C-Dub there on the Sazabi trying to take some space with the large tanky unit. But again, Enders is there, Arrow is there, Carl Sagan is there. Everyone is there to make sure that no one can get respawn. In fact, Focus is there on the back line to not let anyone respawn from the defenders onto the site. It looks like this is going to be a very, very fast A destruction. I don't even think there's enough time on the clock for Sotoras to get into the Mega Charge. And look, I mean, how do you call this anymore? They are pushing past the defender respawn to get onto the second objective immediately.
And that is honestly, it's so smart. That can be a choke point that they just pushed through. So they made sure to preemptively move forward and get through that choke point, take that waypoint, and now they no longer have to deal with that situation. They can do the 2-pronged attack based on the 2 ways that you can go into here. And there's the first G maneuver.
Screaming Nimbus from Enders, gets a kill, pushes forward with the laser beam, gets the second. Mega Charge hasn't been planted just yet, but they've cleared out so much space. They've taken out so many of the defenders that it's gonna be an easy plant. They just gotta defend it just for a minute. This might be another really, really fast round.
Yeah, I don't even know if Carl Sagan has gone down yet. Still in that Jim Sniper. Again, a little bit of a weird pick in this situation sometimes, but they are just taking so much control. 3 different suits down on the side of Sotoras Esports. They do not have that much time. They've got maybe 2 pushes at best. Most likely it's going to come down to 1 final push, but they've only got 2 G maneuvers up to the side of Mafty's 3.
That's the big problem. One of those G maneuvers still needs to respawn. Z-Dub trying to push on in, but Sazabi takes a lot of damage though. Shield has been eliminated almost immediately, and that's going to be, again, 4 kills in the kill feed for going Mafty's way. Corey is able to find 1 with the punch, but that arrow is going to get revived pretty quickly, and it's just 5 seconds left thereabouts for the Mega Charge to go up, and that's going to be round number 1 going up in flames.
Just about as fast as you can possibly make it. That's something we saw from Mafty. We actually saw it on this exact map going this exact way before. This is not a first-time thing for us to see Mafty play Underground Command Center so well. And now Sotoras, they are going to have to basically play perfectly if they want a chance here. That's tough.
Yeah. And this is I feel like this is a map that is incredibly easy to defend, especially that second point. So the fact that Mafty, you're able to get onto it with seemingly not a lot of trial makes me incredibly worried for Sotoras' own attempts on this map. Because like that first waypoint, it usually falls into the attacker's favor pretty quickly. The first site, that one can be a little harder to hold, especially if you're an attacker who gets the Mega Charge. Once you get the Mega Charge down, you have those big open areas from that initial entryway into the Underground Command Center. But like that second point, that's the one that makes me really worried about Sotoras' replay attempt.
Yeah, and can I just point out from the stats there, one of the coolest things about Mafty is how good at individual skill they each are, every single player. They were all within about 2,000 damage of each other. So going from maybe like 11,000 to 13,000-ish. And half their team actually didn't even die in that last game throughout all of those pushes. So that is huge, and it just goes to show the level of individual skill on every single person. They're all MVP status.
Yeah. Not just individual skill, but just team play skill. How they know how to play off of each other, how to focus fire, how to play their spacing, who can be forward, who has to fall back, and how they don't give up really any ground at all while they're cycling players through. But here comes the replay attempt by Sotoras pushing on in. A lot of members from Mafty up on the high ground. Gonna have to knock them off if they want to try and retake this first waypoint. Enders, you can see, falls away. They do fall back from that one, but not a lot of damage really given.
It looks like they just don't want to get caught out. This is a pretty common thing to see full teams kind of drop back behind the waypoint. This is a tough spot to push into, but it's going to be very, very possible if they get at least one pick. Enders is going to go down. However, in return, we're going to see Keicho go down, and this is going to be a huge brawl.
A great angle found by Arrow. Mafty did fall away, preparing to stay alive and not give away that first initial point that we saw what happened on their attacking half, but then Arrow just found that angle off on the side. The damage was there from the rest of the team to give him the opportunity to finish off the rest, and it wasn't even a waypoint capture for Sotoras.
Yeah, it was looking so good for them until that single moment. So really, really well played. This is a spot where I feel like, in particular, Pale Rider can do so well. It's the exact range that you want on that suit.
See if they can't go for it a second time. Sotoras, it got so close, but they have another attempt ready. At least they need to if they want to try and come back in this match and this whole matchup, not even this map itself. Royal Fatman trying to look for an angle with the sniper rifle. Isn't going to be able to find too much damage just yet. A lot of damage on the Sazabi, but the tanky character can't get taken out that quickly. Enders does drop, but again, immediately trades back in Mafty's favor. The waypoint has been captured, but it's being recaptured as we speak.
Oh yeah, so many downs on the side of Mafty, just taking it back in full. In fact, a full team kill. And once again, we're seeing Carl Sagan, even on the retake, still just hold on to that Jim sniper. It's just being able to commit to that suit is so strong. I mean, really such a strong sniper suit. But here we go, another push, another attempt.
They got it. Royal Fatman immediately drops focus. That could be the opening, but Carl Sagan's going to be there for the revive at range from that Jim sniper ability. Enders, you can also see, they're on the back line. They're not full committing onto the waypoint hold. That, I think, might be what's giving Mafty the constant retake opportunities, is they're allowing Sotoras to push forward, and they're there with the angles without losing too much HP to answer back. Focus does drop a second time, and Coilovers is trying to really pepper down the defense. Good damage coming out.
Yeah, we might see the G maneuver here from Baranox. That could be a really good defensive option. We're actually going to see the G maneuver on this side. Oh, we can see some aerial shots coming from Carl Sagan, but not... Oh my gosh, that honestly didn't even come into play almost, with so much damage from David. Sheesh.
This is what I'm talking about. Mafty, they fall away. They know where they need to be in order... They know how much space they can give Sotoras while still being comfortable and healthy and happy and ready to come back without having lost anyone to retake that waypoint. The fact that Sotoras can't even get this first waypoint shows just how much of a difference there is between these two squads.
Man, I'm like, oh, here comes the G maneuver, and then the entire team dies first. I'm like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job. All right, here we go. Another push, though. We are going to see... I love this aerial flank. There's already a suit going down. The punch is there. If there were even any suits left alive, they were going to have all been in a row. That would have been the most beautiful punch of all time, but we don't even get a chance to see it. Another team kill with 50 seconds left. This is looking like the continuance of the Mafty dominance.
The timings on the team fights, the timings on when everyone goes in, it's like it's one super brain controlling the entirety of Mafty. So Sotoras, they have one fight left, and if they want to come back onto this one, it's a very good beam magnum usage by Tony, but he needs to find the kills. He's getting some damage, but no one has been dropped just yet. In fact, the health looks worse on his team than the opponents. Focus and Carl Sagan getting kills, answering back immediately, so every single time Sotoras try and step up, they try and throw something at Mafty. Mafty are there to not just take it, they are slapping it aside and coming back even stronger.
That's gonna be that. Once again, we... Time to come back to the point. Mafty showing just how dominant of a team they continue to be, not only being our previous undefeated champions, but just looking better and better every single week. And that will be the game, that will be the set, and that will be our first team, Mafty, making it into our top 3, into our winners finals, which will be played out tomorrow.
Yeah. After this, Sotoras, they're going down into the losers bracket. They are going to be facing, if I am not mistaken, the winner of Iron Blooded Orangutans versus the... Okay, I'm going way too far back because we have a lot of series that have left to be played. The point is, Sotoras, they're not out of it just yet. They can still come back into this, but Mafty are moving on.
Yeah, they played well, but Mafty... Yeah. Nobody has been able to stand up against them, no matter who we've got. Yeah, they play the wellest out of every single team that we've got here. Yeah. I'm really curious with some of the other teams if they can stand up to it. But yeah, they're the wellest.
Yeah. Like I said, we have a lot of matches that still have left to be played today. We're actually going to be going backwards in the bracket, if I am not mistaken. So don't go anywhere. We have a lot more Gundam Evolution action lying in wait.